Mass index. What is body mass index? Well, BMI we refer to it as. Well, body mass index is a way of getting somebody's height and weight, doing a calculation, and then categorizing them as to whether they're underweight, optimal weight, overweight, or obese. Now, it's not foolproof. There is some limitations to it, which we can discuss. However, it is still used by nurses and doctors with their patients to just give an indication of whether they're at risk or not of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, all that type of thing. Now, so what it doesn't take, I'll talk about the limitations. What it doesn't take into consideration is muscle mass. So if you're going to be working out the BMI on somebody that has significant muscle mass, then it's not going to give you a sensible reading. So don't use it for those guys. Think about the relevance of the test that you're using. But for the average untrained individual who's sitting in a doctor's surgery waiting to be seen by the doctor or nurse, BMI will give a good indication as to their health risk. Now, the equation is your weight in kilos divided by your height in meters squared. So let's work it out. So let's take a male who is 1.8 meters and weighs 90 kilos. So the first thing we need to do, what I would do, is to square the height. So when we square something, we basically times it by itself. So grab your calculator and we do 1.8 times 1.8, which comes out as 3.24. So 1.8 times 1.8 equals 3.24. So that is that bit. Now all we do is take the weight in kilos, which is the 90, and divide it by that. So 90 divided by 3.24 equals 27.7. So 27.77. So that is the BMI. Now, just quickly go over that again. So all I did was take the person's height in meters. So that's the 1.8. It's supposed to be squared, so I times it by itself, which gives me that. Then I take the weight in kilos, which was 90. I divided it by the height in meters squared, which gives me that. Now, to categorize that, between 25 and 30 is overweight. So this would suggest that this client is overweight. If it was 30 or more, they would be obese. But to get this client down to what we suggest is an optimal or ideal weight, we need to get this down to below 25. So don't forget, if you've got someone with any significant muscle mass, it's not going to work because it doesn't account for muscle mass. But if they're untrained, then it will give an indication as to how overweight that person is and how much risk they are of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and other hypokinetic diseases.